Greetings everyone and welcome to the screencast for List 4. Please, as noted, pause this as necessary so you can either take notes, write your sentence, draw your picture, whatever you need to do. You may pause as you need. The first word, abundant. The definition, plentiful in quantity or plentiful in size. You might say that pumpkin is abundant, meaning it's very large, or you can say we had an abundant amount of pumpkins from the garden this year. It's more than expected and it indicates a healthy condition. You have some other words similar that you've learned this year, excessive and surplus. But this word's a little different in that it really indicates that it's a very positive outcome. And you'll see that in the pictures. Here is an abundant garden. Everything is very healthy. Everything is thriving. It's more than you expect. And here's a picture of an abundant amount of money. We would all enjoy this. More than is expected. Next word, betray. The definition is to turn against, to be disloyal. And the connotation for this word is that it is very negative. Just about everybody thinks that betraying something or somebody is a dishonorable action. So it's a very negative word. And the related word is vocabulary. You might feel the related vocabulary is traitor. A traitor is someone who tells secrets of their country to another country. So they're harming their own country. There are especially stories about traitors during times of wars, and these people are normally double spies. And here's a few pictures. You can see someone's shaking a hand, promising something, but the fingers crossed means they don't really mean it. They're not going to do what they're saying they're going to do. And here, someone is presenting one thing, but in reality, they're going to be doing something harmful. Comparison. Comparison is when you look at two or more things and see how they are alike or dislike. So for instance, you might compare colleges and you're going to see how they are alike and how they're dislike. You might make a decision as to which college to go to based on that comparison. This is a bit of an academic word. You're going to see it often in your textbooks, in your tests. And when you compare things, that can help you make a decision. And it's part of analysis, or when you analyze things to make a decision. The related phrase, compare and contrast. Here you're comparing two things. They're both apples, but they're disliked because they're different colors. And I thought this was an interesting comparison. They're comparing how long something is. However, one is the Eiffel Tower and the other is the ship, the Titanic. A comparison. Next word, demonstrate. To explain or teach by showing. Teachers demonstrate in the classroom. The connotation for this word is that while there's a visual display, there's also an auditory explanation. So both of your senses are working as you learn something new. So a teacher might demonstrate how to do a math problem, but they just don't show you by doing it on the board without explaining it. There's both the visual and auditory explanation. And a related word is indicate. Sometimes we use the word demonstrate the same way we use the word indicate. You might say the doctor took the tests to indicate what was wrong with the patient. You could also say the test results demonstrate what illness the patient had. So demonstrate is sometimes used the same way. Here somebody's demonstrating how to do CPR using a dummy. And here somebody's demonstrating some sort of product at some sort of business fair or business expo. Dispute. Definition. An argument or a disagreement. Now, when we talk about an argument or a disagreement and the word dispute, the connotation is that it's mostly verbal. It's not going to be a fist fight type of dispute. It's going to be mostly verbal. It can be about legal, financial, or property matters. And the related vocabulary word is spar. Here there's a dispute going on in front of a judge. And here this gentleman has to resolve a dispute. And he doesn't know whether he should negotiate, go to litigation, which means he's going to go to trial, or even mediation. And of course, you're familiar with mediation through peer mediation here at school. Dispute. Next word, distinct. The definition is that it's easy to see or notice. And the connotation of this is that being distinct can be either positive or negative. So, for instance, something can be distinct by standing out. If you go to a funeral and there's somebody who's shown up at the funeral in a tank top and very short shorts, that person's going to be distinct. They're going to stand out, but they're going to stand out in a negative way. On the other hand, you can come to school and be ready to do really well on your oral presentation. And so when you get up to do your oral presentation, you just are outstanding. Well, you're going to be distinct that day, but you're going to be distinct that day in a positive way. So it can be either positive or negative to be distinct. One related word you might have is flamboyant. But you must remember flamboyant means showy and flashy. So if it's flamboyant, then it is distinct. But not everything that is distinct is flamboyant. For instance, the example of being at a funeral and not being suitably dressed, that would make you distinct, but it does not make you flamboyant. Here we have the yellow tulip that is very distinct among the rest of the red tulips. And here we have an office building of some sort that is very distinct because of the pattern that's displayed on the outside of the building. Exaggerate. The definition, to overstate. And we use exaggeration several ways. First of all, people use it to emphasize something. They might want to overstate it just a little bit to try to get their point across. And it's also used when bragging, and sometimes that's called stretching the truth. When we read and an author uses exaggeration, we call that hyperbole. And especially when during dialogue, a character might exaggerate. And again, they're using it for emphasis, or they're trying to stretch the truth. The related vocabulary word would be parody or caricature. Here is a fisherman. He's exaggerating the size of the fish he caught, so he's stretching the truth quite a bit. And here is a caricature. And in a caricature, things are definitely exaggerated. Here, the hand, the feet, and the head are all exaggerated. Next, inhabit. The definition is to live in. Connotation is it mostly refers to people and animals. The word that's related is habitat, and this is a word you're very familiar with since you learned habitat probably fairly early on in elementary school. It's the place where people and or animals live. Inhabit, to live in. Most of us have a bedroom that we inhabit within our homes. And here's a picture of a teepee. This is a play teepee for children, but it is where many Native Americans inhabited throughout our country. Inhabit. Neutral. The definition is not taking sides or a position, on a position, or in a dispute or argument. So you're staying neutral is you're not siding with one way or the other. And this can refer to all types of disagreements, from small disputes to world politics. So you might appeal to your mother to end an argument with a sibling, and she's going to remain neutral. Or you could talk about neutral with world politics. The country of Switzerland tends to remain neutral in world politics and does not take one country's side over another in a war. Another way to use the word, neutral colors. Neutral colors can normally blend with other colors and they don't stand out against other colors. Here is a gentleman trying to remain neutral in the position between progress and saving the environment. And you can see he's on the teeter-totter. He's got one foot in the progress side and one foot in the environment side. He's trying to remain neutral. And here we have our neutral colors. And I particularly like this graphic because it shows you how the bright colors really stand out and take a point on the color circle versus the neutral colors. Reduction. A decrease or cutback. This can be a positive or a negative outcome from a reduction. So if we go to the store where there's a lot of price reductions, that's a good thing because we get more for our money. Or if we find out that the government has had a reduction in revenue, that means less money is used for services, which is a negative outcome. The root word for reduction is reduce, and the related math word is subtraction. Good luck with all the words. And your pictures for reduction? Here, if you ride bikes, it does not produce any emissions, so that's a reduction in emissions. And here is a sale sign. It was a certain amount. After the reduction, it is now a lesser amount. Good luck.